The Doghouse Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of the West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Welcome back, everybody, to the Doghouse Racing League. Here we are in the Next Gen Series, brought to you by Shoney's. Man, we've got a wild one here for you tonight. Not as crazy as last week, if you guys remember a little bit about that one. We were at the Circuit of the Americas. None other than Jonathan Jennings put an absolutely punishing display on that race, coming out in first place. A little stumble by Hunter Simpson early in the race. I think it may have been able to give him a run for his money with a slight mechanical issue. Started from pit, almost started dead last, and ended up second. And the previous points leader Kevin Powell was third for that insane race. Some of those drivers weren't able to make it all the way to the end. Enough were sliding in and out of the gravel out there, just trying their best to stay on the asphalt. But tonight, we're in Miami, Florida, here in Homestead. This should be a wild race here tonight. They call it the one-tire fryer, and especially the right front will be put to the test here tonight, as it will be absolutely destroyed throughout this race. We're looking at about 100 laps here, and as qualifying gets started up here, we'll take a little look at what we've got lined up for you here tonight at Homestead. 100 laps, 3 sets of tires will be in the pits, and then they will have the 1 set of tires on the car. After that, then there'll be 60% fuel limit, so probably a one tire stop here tonight, and no fast repairs. There are only going to be 1 set of the car out there. And of course, me, your lead producer here tonight, bringing you the best of the Doghouse Racing League. I'm excited to see what these boys can do here tonight. Qualifying is underway. We are taking a new driver of Nathan Orlowski here in the number 29 Toyota Donkey Kong machine. Let's see how well he can do. I will say, not many Toyotas out here in the Doghouse Racing League. Gary Armijo is the only other one to join him in the Toyota run out here. But let's take a look at our championship points here tonight. Jonathan Jennings has regained the lead here in the front with 1,779 points, and only 50 points behind is Jacob Reeves in the number 3. But can he pull off a win here tonight to see if he can creep in closer here to Jonathan Jennings, that just seems to keep pulling away and has really been in a bit of a drought, really, is him kind of, battling to get back into this, to push his way back to the front after his first 2 wins of the season. And Jennings now finally comes out with another win at COTA, and now looking for number 4. I would like to see some of our drivers who have not been here a good while, drivers like Andrew St. Cour. I would love to know where he is, and I believe we're also looking out there for Kevin. And I'm not seeing him out there. Kevin Thompson, who's sitting 7th right now. Twisted Axle Racing could use a few more drivers out there to keep this run going here for our top 20 drivers, rounding it out with Tyler Mollett down there at that 754. But a lot of these guys is just based on consistency. So with only a few races left here in the league, that is really going to kind of shuffle it up a little bit with some drop races and where these guys are going to place out there onto the track. So let's take a quick look at where our guys are lining up. Jonathan Jennings once again back on top here with a 32.62, and Kevin Powell with a 32.74 as he finishes his 2nd lap. So Jonathan Jennings lining himself up once again for another win here at Homestead. And I'm really questioning here, is that 91 machine going to be the one to beat here tonight? Seeing that I have all Chevrolets for the top 8 right now. Gary Clune breaking that off in the 9th position with a 9th place sit, and Mike Leftwich starting 10th. Jackson Lomax just coming to a halt here for 10th. Daniel Wilkerson and the Costa Sunglasses machine. Let's see how he does. And right now he is sitting 10th, so good move there. Jacob Reeves, his second lap, gets it done here for the Maconi Setup Shop Chevrolet. Sitting right now in the second position. Nathan Orlowski, we saw how he was doing before. Looks like he's trying to get in a little extra time there. 14th for him. So everybody is just about finished qualifying except Jeremiah Stutzman. Looks like the net spend machine here. Number 71 looking to start nailing down some times here. He's got to pick up the pace. Only a couple minutes left here in qualifying. And we'll see how this goes here. And Stutzman, that is not what he needed right there. And that is a lot what we've been seeing here tonight out of that 71 Chevrolet. And many other drivers is just not being able to connect to the track here. And I would almost blame it on not being on 10.5-inch tires any longer. We're in the larger rim cars, more low-profile tires, so they heat up a lot faster. But, man, they are slick around these turns, and it just gets harder and harder and harder for these guys to get going here. But it looks like, I believe, I've got Daniel Paulus here joining me in the booth. A little late here to the qualifying run here, but, man, it looks like, once again, Jonathan Jennings out in front, Jacob Reeves sitting second, and Kevin Powell third.
Yeah, sorry about for being late, guys. I just got home from work. I can't wait to watch this race. It's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, this should be pretty wild here. Whoa, once again. That's twice. Jeremiah Stutzman's going to be hanging his head after this one. As both laps he runs, he spins out. So Stutzman trying to see if he can get himself onto some sort of qualifying position, but is unable to. Still looking at a couple drivers who have not qualified. Dylan Goodwin, Chris Leftwich, Jeremiah Stutzman wasn't able to get anything, Ricky Williams, and Joey Beck. Now, whether they decide to line up here tonight, we'll see, but it's going to have to be definitely an interesting one. Let's go ahead and get right to our starting lineup, as Jonathan Jennings will be starting here in the front. Notice no warm-up. I like it. I like the call. Let's get right on to it. Jacob Reeves will be starting on the outside of row number 1, starting row 2. Kevin Powell in the number 93 Chevrolet will be next to the number 20 Chevrolet of Justin McMahon. All of these guys have a win this season in the top 4. Let's see if any of them else can get it. Christopher Simon starting 5th with Tyler Mollett sitting 6th. Remember, Tyler was there rounding out the top 20 in our points. Good start, 6th place start here tonight. Should be working well. Bobby Goodwin, hey. Good to see a new driver out there. And then the number 7, Mike Samia in the 8th position. Gary Clune. Glad to see a good part of Twisted Axle Racing. Somebody was able to make it out here in the 9th position with Daniel Wilkerson with Loud Pedal Racing sitting in 10th. Rotating on back to the 6th row with Mike Leftwich sitting 11th and Jackson Lomax with Turn 1 Racing filing back in the 12th position. Now let's rotate to the back half of the field here, where Christopher Berger and Nathan Orlowski are going to start side by side for row number 7. Gary Armijo 15th and Andrew Smith in 16th. I know Smith has been off a little bit, but he's back to fight yet again. Stutzman, we saw 2 spinouts, 2 qualifying laps, 17th for him. Ricky Williams will be 18th with Chris Leftwich 19th. Dylan Goodwin 20th, and the Joey Beck to be our 21st driver. A lot of guys having a little trouble here during qualifying, but they are looking to put on a great show here for you guys here, in this league to see where they can push forward here and get their way up to the front. And Daniel, a little bit about Homestead here. This track being as flat as it is and not banked as nicely as some of these other tracks means a lot of right side tire wear. What should drivers be looking out for here?
Yeah, so Homestead, I raced on it before. It is a very hard track to deal with the right side tires on your car. Now, like you said earlier, with the right side tires, those do wear down very easily if you are pushing the limits on the throttle here at Homestead. You don't want to be pushing the limits early on in this race because of the tire wear, and that's going to affect how your car is going to handle in the turns.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more there. And we're taking a look here at the starting lineup getting out there onto the track. Jonathan Jennings has really been hot as of late, and I'm interested to see if that 91 Mellow Yellow machine can do what we saw before. Kevin Powell doing a little slide there, I guess trying to get his tires heated up, or he's just messing around already. Definitely want to get those jitters out before we get started here. A lot of drivers, ready to go. Definitely put the pressure on late, early on in the race, but it's always the longevity. And the way this league kind of, the way these guys kind of lean on each other here to get better and produce great racing, it just pays off here, and when it comes to the feature. These guys battling side by side, these guys pushing each other. You get guys that you don't expect, like, Tyler Mollett does a heck of a job out there and has been really working with these teams to get a great run and should be getting a fantastic start here where he is. Now, I expect Tyler Mollett, to stay up here in the top 10, but let's see how we do as Barney has the green flag in the air. Ready? And here we go. Jonathan Jennings and Jacob Reeves off to the start here. Turn 1's going to be a nasty one, but I am watching for the exit of turn 4 because that is going to be where the trouble brews. Here we go. Right now into the front. McMahon thinking about sending about 3 wide here in the number 20 Chevrolet. Outside line for him, but Jacob Reeves holds him off. Very close. Look at Justin McMahon on the outside, and away he goes. Takes the lead immediately. Outside line prevails. Here we go. He slides up 3 positions and takes the lead. But Jonathan Jennings, he sits back. Go ahead. Have your fun out front. We'll see how long that lasts.
And look who's sitting in second place right now. It's the 91 of Jennings, who won here. Oh, we have a caution out on lap 2 here at Homestead. But like I was saying, the 91 of Jennings sitting comfortably in P2 right now and was your last week's winner at COTA.
Yeah, not looking good here for the caution. We'll have to drum it up and see what happened. I'm seeing Nathan Orlowski's down 5 positions along with Gary Armijo. Both Toyotas are down 5 positions. That may have been our caution. Hold on just a second. Let's figure out what happened here. All right, everybody. Early caution here in this one. It looks like brand new driver. Gary Armijo got in trouble and Nathan Orlowski. Let's take a look at it topside. Looked like the 29 machine. A little loose on the outside here. Boom. Makes connection. Spins these 2 guys around.
Yeah, you see the 22 there on the back straightaway. Hits the wall. Gets some right front damage there. Looks like he might hit the left front too as he hits the inside wall. That's going to...
Well, that's definitely not what Gary Armijo wanted this race. He's going to be heading down pit to fix some of that damage here as we see him sitting there now. So, Gary Armijo now down to the 20th position, already in pit. Remember, there are absolutely no faster pairs here in the Doghouse Racing League, so he is going to be in even more trouble in this race. Right now, Nathan Orlowski, he seems to have survived out there, staying out there without pitting. Dylan Goodwin came down as well in the number 51. He came down and gave a little touch and go, a little splash of fuel. Can't blame him. Might be the change here of the race. But that means biggest movers of the race is only Justin McMahon, Ricky William, and Chris Leftwich. All these guys have moved up 3 positions. And right now being dominated here in the top 10, pretty much by Chevrolets with Gary Clune's only Ford out there. This is really something here. There's obviously... There's some favoritism toward one of these manufacturers here. Somebody knows that these Chevrolets may be the manufacturer for the track, and they just handle a different way.
Yeah, all manufacturers handle differently at these tracks here, but the 20 of McMahon doing really good here. We're only on lap 4. If he could keep this up, he could have a shot later tonight, but don't count out the 91, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see if McMahon can hold this out. He's got a lot of work to do here. I mean, we're only very, very close here into the early stages of this race. McMahon already has 1 win here on the season and is sitting 5th in the points. He could really use a win now, but he almost needs Jonathan Jennings to come dead last in this one to reel him in on points. This is with this season kind of coming to a close here. I mean, right now, next race, we head to Talladega for the Group 6 Interactive 151. That should be a wild one there for the April 27th race, but here we are on April 20th. And we are back under green. Justin McMahon, away he goes.
Yeah, nice restart there by the 20 McMahon. Filing in behind him is the 91 of Jennings. And you see side by side battling for third is the 93 of Howell and the 3 of Reeves. Reeves looks like he's going to have the edge here.
Yeah, Jacob Reeves had kind of lined it up here with the Moconi Setup Shop Chevrolet. Seeming to be doing well here so far. He's only lost one position, though, because Justin McMahon's outside run definitely worked out very, very well. We called it earlier about kind of how guys are sliding around, trying to find a good groove. Lomax is having some trouble back here as Mike Leftwich in the 60 rotates his way on through high side. So is this a high side dominant track, or is it low side? But we're seeing a little bit of the switch up here. Watch the 13. Chris Leftwich makes a little contact. Andrew Smith got a huge knock right there, and now Chris Leftwich rotating on back. So almost back originally where he started. Where he started in 19th, now sitting 18th. So a lot of shuffling here in the field of where these guys are going to be. Gary Clune holding pretty solid here in 9th. Drops down to 10th as Daniel Wilkerson slides underneath of him here in the 78.
Yeah, and look at these drivers on the top lane. Now, I think they're liking the top lane more. I know I like the top lane here at Homestead. You get a nice corner exit, which gives you the momentum down the back straightaway to get past the driver as we're on board here. Justin McMahon here really focusing on keeping that lead there, but right on the inside is the 91 of Jennings, still side by side coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, Jonathan Jennings really making the move here, trying to keep him honest there on the high side. I think McMahon would like to drop down just a little bit, but he seems pretty comfortable up there. Right, rolling right there on that seam. There he goes. McMahon rotates down just a little bit to keep the 91 of Jonathan Jennings close. Gets the lead right back. Jennings drops down just a little bit, but it's holding on ever so slightly here, as it just doesn't seem he can get a breakaway like he did before. So Jennings able to hold McMahon. McMahon was able to get the breakaway, and we're going to stick right here because the battle for the lead is not really seeming to go away here. These guys have been side by side since the green flag came back out. Jennings holding it on the bottom line here, and they're just kind of doing the seesaw effect as I think Jennings has just broken away. Gotten underneath of him. He's going to rotate up front and cut McMahon off and leave him back to second. Taking a look at McMahon there, rotating back to Kevin Powell. He's under fire here by Jacob Reeves. Reeves lets him go. High side. Notice how some of these setups here, the way these guys are training themselves, whether they've built their car for high side or low side, we'll have to see. But the right side tires, there's no denying that, you know, tire wear is going to be a factor here. And with 60% fuel, you're not going to see any real kind of tire wear until around lap 40 when guys start slacking off a little bit. But on the move right now, Andrew Smith up 4 positions, sitting 12th. So the 00 looking for a sponsor out there, trying to see if he can get a little something on the side of that white car.
Yeah, I mean, all he needs is a good run to show what these sponsors can bring to that 00 car. If he has a good night tonight, possibly end up in the top 10 or top 5, that might ring a little bells to some of these sponsors that may want to jump on his hood.
Oh yeah, definitely all over the car. It could be anywhere. Jeremiah Stutzman, we saw how terrible his qualifying time is now gotten up to 13th following Andrew Smith's line here. Rotating around the number 11 of Gary Clune. Now, Clune is actually on a roll back here. That Ford's kind of getting punished a good bit. Right now, he's fighting for 14th spot. As he's under fire, he might drop to 15th. Whoa, Stutzman, a little blink there. Gotta love it. Definitely don't like to see that. And hard to draft behind a guy who's blinking out. Number 13 and Chris Leftwich slides underneath Gary Clune here. And now Clune has fallen 6 positions down to 15th. But this could be maybe Clune's idea of sitting back, you know, using a little bit of this fuel mileage, you know, hanging out behind a couple of these drivers and just outlasting everybody else, which is really, I like the idea, is hanging back and kind of making, you know, letting the track come to you instead of fighting the track.
Yeah, it's a good plan, you know. Just stay back, relax. You got a long time yet till the end of this race. See what happens. See how your car's handling. You know, when you're in the lead, you have that clean air, which makes your car handle a lot different than when you're behind the drivers with dirty air. So I can see why he's sitting back and relaxing and possibly saving some fuel.
Yeah, both drivers of Turn 1 Racing sitting 10th and 11th, that being Christopher Berger and Jackson Lomax here. They seem to be doing A-OK. Berger up 3 positions, finally breaking into the top 10. I know these guys would definitely like to take Coda and erase that one back off the schedule, because I don't think they did. Either one of them did very well at that track. But road courses aren't for everybody. But it's definitely a wrench thrown into the wheel here, you know, of how these guys can kind of battle along with each other. Let's see how it goes here as Christopher Berger's gotten around Bobby Goodwin. And Berger now in the 9th, seeming to be working out so far so good here. Jackson Lomax trying to see if he can follow along. So the 96 Chevrolet here, there he goes underneath, and he's going to rotate up and cut him on off. So now both drivers from Turn 1 Racing now sitting 9th and 10th. Let's find out where Tyler Millette is. Millette now sitting 5th. So Millette has picked up a position, so his Chevrolet's still doing a fantastic job out here tonight. And he'd definitely like to continue on, seeing that his points run is keeping it going here. Out there in the chat, Stella, appreciate you. Checking out, seeing how this league's going tonight. It's going great. It is always great here with the Doghouse Racing League. Only a quick little caution there at the beginning on lap 2. Probably before we finish lap 1, I think the leaders may have crossed the line, but no issues there, and nothing yet. Everybody kind of staying pretty solid out there, and already out there in the chat, Michael Farron saying Farron is fast at Volusia. Definitely, man, definitely. Talked about you a little bit out there on the After Dark on the Racing Revolution. Somebody was looking for a dirt league, and I said, go find Michael Farron. He's out there setting world records on the iRacing dirt tracks. So definitely check them out at the Thunder Racing League. I broadcast them on Sunday nights. All right, back to the racing here. Kevin Powell falling off a good bit, about a second off the two guys in the front, being Jennings and McMahon. So Kevin Powell in the Monster Energy machine having a little trouble here, but he's slacking off. But I don't know, now, Daniel, I don't knock at all here Kevin Powell really having any sort of trouble here, as he's going to be able to continue fighting his way to the front. Kevin Powell does his thing. He runs his own race, he wins races, and he's just got to take enough time, to let the race come to him. And I think it's interesting to see the different strategies we see out of these drivers, is who is pushing now and who's sitting back. And I think some of the car setups is what you're starting to see of what other guys are considering doing here.
Yeah, and Powell, we saw him last week at Coda on the road course in Austin, Texas. He was in the top 3 most of the race, top 5, and then he just fell back a little bit. Then he made his way back up to get a top 3, I believe. Not remembering, but look at him right now. He's sitting in P3. We're at Homestead. It's a whole new racetrack, and he's just sitting where he always is, not making any mistakes, relaxing, playing cool, calm, collective. As you see the 13 right there of Leftwich in 11th place right now, getting ready to crack the top 10 here at Homestead.
Yeah, Chris Leftwich trying to roll in Jackson Lomax, who's gotten a good breakaway from him. He's got to make up about a second to reach him there. All Chevrolets top 13. Right now, Andrew Smith has dropped back down to 14. That 00 still on a run here, but he's battling alongside with Jeremiah Stutzman, the number 71 machine. Farron out there in the chat saying appreciate it. Got to be honest, I'm your favorite broadcaster. Man, I appreciate that. Tell your friends. I love those subscriptions. Subscribe. Tell me you guys love it. And I check the chat out there, because I think that's the only way you can chat. You got to make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook out there each and every night. I am broadcasting, so we got some wild stuff going on each and every night here. Definitely watch out for the big show in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be hosting Dover on Saturday and then back to Michigan on Monday. So a double feature there for the big show. That is guys racing for money at the end of the month. So that should be a good race. Hopefully that one works out pretty well. I know so one of the drivers last week, it didn't work out so hot. All right, let's check back up here with Mike Samia in the 44 Chevrolet and Christopher Simon. Now Simon's lost the position here. He's dropped outside the top 5. But right now for Shoney's Racing, not too bad out of Christopher Simon.
Yeah, not too bad right now. As you see the 35 of Simon's in 6th place, getting ready to crack in on the top 5 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Looks like his car is handling really well. You see him right in the top lane. And that's what you want to do. You want to run the top lane here. You see how we're on board here on the roof cam. See how he gets that nice corner exit. He's going to get a little momentum coming down the front straightaway. Not front straightaway, back straightaway.
That's all right, man.
As in turn 3.
Well, as we were riding along with Christopher Simon, I don't know if you noticed Tyler Mollett getting a little loose coming out of these turns, but he's wrangling that car in. So 23 laps in, some of these guys are starting to get real loose out here, having some some traction problems. So what does this mean for the remainder of the race? I'm expecting probably some of these guys pitting around that 30, 38, maybe 40, 45 area to stop the tire fall off. I mean, some of these guys are sliding around. Jennings isn't showing any signs of slowing down here. He's starting to now put distance out there on McMahon. And continuing on here, let's rotate back to Jackson Lomax, sitting 10th. Chris Leftwich looks like he's fighting his way back up. 8 positions for him. And we are single file just about everywhere on the track, except back there with Stutzman. Stutzman was actually working there a little bit on Bobby Goodwin. Gets around him for that 12th position. So a lot of moves here for Jeremiah Stutzman, but after that qualifying, he definitely is not appreciative of how far back he started tonight.
Yeah, it's rough starting back in the back of the pack, because now you got a lot of ground to make up, and it's hard to do that here on these types of tracks, unlike these super speedways where you're in a draft the whole time, and you can just make your way up to the front very easily.
Yeah, driver we are missing here tonight is Hunter Simpson. I hate not being able to see him out tonight with that second place finish he put on at COTA. We could really use having him out here. Definitely being able to, be able to give just that little extra aspect out there for the Elite Southern Motorsports team to be able to see if, what he can provide the rest of this league with what he can do. I mean, he's able to make moves up front. He was actually the upset for me last week, starting from pit and then nailing a second place finish. I would have loved to have seen what it would have been if he had been on the starting grid in the right spot to begin with. Without that mechanical issue he had. But let's rotate back here. It looks like a little bit of trouble out of Bobby Goodwin into the wall here. Now we got some trouble back here, really in that 14th, 15th, and 17th spot here. Not looking too good here. Gary Clune kind of watching everything unfold in front of him here. 00 riding high. Bobby Goodwin was into the wall. Goodwin rotating up. Obviously something's wrong with Goodwin's car here. Into the wall, 3 wide. Clune, oh boy, here it comes.
Whoa.
Yeah, Andrew Smith, I guarantee you, puckered right there. He wanted to rotate up, but he didn't want to rip the nose of Bobby Goodwin off. So great job there by the 00 of Andrew Smith. Unfortunately, has rotated back to 16th place, originally where he started. So now 2 Fords are going to go at it here between Clune and Andrew Smith. And right now, Clune still falling back. It's down to 7 positions. Down to 16th. So a lot of guys shifting up and a few guys shifting down. Bobby Goodwin down 10. Clune is down about 6 if he can pass Andrew Smith. But guys on the move up. Chris Leftwich 8. Dylan Goodwin, he's up 7. So not too bad. Everybody kind of doing a little bit moving around here. But I will say the top 5 are really still the top 5 here.
Yeah, it's really difficult with these 2 Fords, running here at Homestead-Miami with the rest of the pack being Chevrolets. If they had many more Fords within this pack, I'm pretty sure we would see more Fords up towards the front. It's just really hard because of the draft.
Yeah, the draft aspect is pretty huge here. It's interesting to see who is out there doing better in the clean air and who's out there doing better in the dirty air. And it's just kind of the shuffle back and forth. As we take a look at the tower, the last lap time some of these guys have been running, we've already got almost a second of fall off from some of these drivers out here. Ooh, man, looks like something going on back here with Ricky Williams.
There's that rookie in the 29 passing the 10 there. He caused an incident earlier. It was just a rookie mistake. As you see him passing the 28 on the inside coming out of turn 4. Not doing pretty bad for the first time here at Homestead, but he's doing pretty decent.
Yeah, I always say guys who are new to this league, don't expect to see them running up front. They've got a lot of learning to do as Ricky Williams passes Bobby Goodwin, and Goodwin's still fighting a lot of tire issues here. He may have to start aiming a little higher on his... Oh!
Whoa.
Yeah, Ricky Williams almost breaks loose there. Great job letting out of it and letting the car come back underneath of him there. That could have been devastating right there. So the number 10... But what I was talking earlier about if Goodwin kind of starts high into the turn and then drops down and maybe tries to less of the turn triangulation, aiming low, swinging up high and then scooping back low again. it wouldn't be as punishing to his tires. So Bobby Goodwin down
Yeah.
to 19th position.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the rookie there in the 29. We had multiple rookies within this series before in iRacing, and we know it's difficult when you first start. As you see Nathan right there, he's from Cary, North Carolina. We know it's struggling. Oh, as you see the 29, oh, he's going to get loose coming on the pit road.
Ooh,
Yowzer. Wow,
man.
that was close. But like I was saying, it's hard for these rookies when they first start. They get frustrated because their car's not handling well or they're not competing in the top 10. That's what happens. And then they stop racing and they move on. But, this is some advice I would give to the rookies. Even though it's a hard thing to do, you got to keep pushing and moving forward and keep trying these races because eventually you're going to get it and you're going to figure it out.
All right, well, looks like Nathan Orlowski's got corn on the mind. As you can see his helmet, it looks like that's corn.
He might have been eating corn while he was going in pit road.
Yeah, maybe like that meme. I like cone. All right, let's check up here with Tyler Mollett, as I believe Mollett is battling along here with Kevin Powell. Powell's now starting to feel the pressure of his tires falling off now. Lap 34, so I've kind of said about that 35 to 48, 45 mark is about where we're going to be. And we're starting to see, some of these guys starting to weigh their options here as Nathan Orlowski drops down a lap. As he came down to pit, Gary Armijo, he's down a lap as well. Is that Mollett smacking the wall there? Wasn't sure. I thought Mollett smacked the wall.
I don't know. It looked like he got loose. Mollett looked like he got loose maybe out of turn 2. I don't know. But this is what we were talking about earlier with this tire wear. It's going to change the handling of your car. And it looks like they can run, like you said, around 35 to 40 laps here on these tires before it starts changing. So I would expect maybe some people to come down if we keep having this green flag run. I don't know what lap. I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming up soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, remember Justin McMahon was doing a heck of a job, fired up to the lead. But right now, he is off by about 5 seconds before he can find Jonathan Jennings. Jennings out there somewhere. There he is, diving into turn 1. Yeah, that's his little speck out there. Let's see if we can find kind of a general area where these guys are, because the separation is pretty wicked out there of how far these guys are. There's Jonathan Jennings way up there.
Yeah, and it looks like McMahon is just keep falling back. I think it's the tire wear. I really do. I think he pushed it a little too early in the run, and Jennings was just staying comfortable in the top 3 and top 5. And now that McMahon used those tires, Jennings got the advantage there and took the lead here.
That he did, and he's going to continue keeping that advantage as Jonathan Jennings rotates up in the front. What I do want to point out is I know some drivers don't notice out there. Look in the dash. He never shifts into 5th gear. So he has always got torque underneath that pedal, and he's able to push through each and every one of these turns. Now, it's interesting he's geared it enough in the rear end to not cause any sort of a fuel mileage issue. You see he's not redlining here. Dives right on in and keeps those RPMs nice and above 6,500, and just so much more power, and that just continues to really push his agenda here of how he's fighting his way into to stay in the front, and no one can catch him now.
Yeah, and when we were on board there, you saw him fighting the wheel coming out of turn 2. It looked like his rear was just slides up the track, so they're trying to overcorrect it a little bit coming out of turn 2, which is kind of tricky here at Homestead, and that happened to me plenty of times coming out of turn 4 as you see the 20 McMahon hit pit road.
Yeah, Justin McMahon, he's called it quits. He said enough fall off is enough. Last lap time was a 34.05. His best time was a 32.76. So really the fall off is starting to really kick in here. But what does Jennings do? Does Jennings continue to stay out? I mean, this could really switch it up. If the rest of the field were to get on the same page and everyone pit and leave that 91 machine out there, when he comes down pit, everyone may be able to have that chance to blow by him and actually make him fight through traffic to get back to the front.
Now, if I was McMahon in 91, I'd be looking and seeing who's coming down pit road. Now, if it's 3 or 4 or even 5 drivers coming down pit road, I would go down pit road, because if you don't, like you said, if everybody starts coming down pit road, and he comes down later, they're gonna just blow by him, and he's gonna have to work his way through traffic, which we know is really difficult here at Homestead. As you see the 91 of Jennings coming down pit road.
Yep, down pit road he's coming. Right now, trying to see if we can find a solid video of him. God, come on.
They all come down pit road.
Yeah, here they come, waiting for the leader to come down. Jennings, Tyler Mollett, Jacob Reeves working his way down. Christopher Berger working his way down. So that leaves Jeremiah Stutzman out there, and Stutzman's known for doing this. He definitely hangs out there an extra lap or two, and he's able to get 5 points for leading a lap. So he's trying to stick out there just a little bit longer. Jennings right now getting ready to lead most of them here tonight and get another 5 bonus points for leading the most. But right now, Stutzman trying to see if he can squeak out another 5 here. That way he doesn't fall any farther behind in the running for the points run. Man, he's fighting that car. Super loose in the back. I guarantee he's talking to his crew chief right now about what kind of adjustment he can make down pit.
Yeah, you see him going into the corners. You see that rear of the car just sliding up the track, and it's hard to do that because you can overcorrect it, and then bam, your car could go around instantly, and that could end your night here. But congrats to Stutzman, because I know I couldn't do that.
Yeah, Jeremiah Stutzman staying out there. Jennings still on the lead lap here. Only about 25 seconds behind, but he's going to stay out there. And really, how much longer does it take? You know, I think Jennings is going to come back still running a 32-second lap, and Stutzman's running a 34, so a timely caution would be really good here for Stutzman. Oh, man. Loses a little bit there as he's back on the outside there of Christopher Berger looking to get his lap back, but he's right out there running on fresh tires.
And keep an eye on this ticker here on the top left of your screen, folks, because look at Jennings in the 91. Send in second place. It's 23 seconds back. Now watch, well, not anymore, but when Stutzman was on track, you could see that gap was closing. That was because Stutzman was on the old tires, and now that the drivers have new tires, which means more grip on the track, means that they're going faster than the current leader. As you see, 71 hits pit road finally.
Oh, yeah. Stutzman was losing about 2 seconds per lap as Jennings gets his way back out there. It's pretty impressive to see Jennings being able to pit 4 tires and fuel back out. McMahon will now be down about 3 seconds off the lead here, and that's going to really kind of just, I'm not sure. Seeing the McMahon pit earlier, back on lap 38, Jennings took 2 more laps and stayed out there and is able to come back out. He only really lost 2 seconds or 3 seconds on the lead he had, which is still just absolutely ginormous here. As we can see, that little speck out there is Justin McMahon, who is our second place runner right now. It's interesting to see Jennings being able to put on such a clinic here. This is just much of what we saw last week. He's got the setup. He knows how to drive these cars. He's making it happen, and away he goes. So continuing on, Jonathan Jennings in the lead, and it looks like everybody else is having a little fumbling back here. Looks like a battle back here in the 12th position with Orlowski on the outside of Clune.
Yeah, Clune, one of our rookies here. First time here at Homestead-Miami in this series for him. See the Ford Mustang on the inside there passing the rookie there. Making no mistakes, just racing, learning. See Stutzman right behind him and going on the inside.
Yeah, Jeremiah Stutzman isn't a lap down, but he stayed out to lap 43, 4 tires and a full tank of fuel for Stutzman, so the 71 machine's going to have a chance to fight his way back to the front. This is almost going to be really easy for him if he can just maintain the tires, and if the adjustment he made down pit is going to fix it. You know, a slight wedge adjustment could fix this. You know, a slight tire pressure adjustment could fix another. So the key is not making so many adjustments that it completely changes the car, and then you can't handle it at all. But Stutzman on a roll here, and he's going to be seeing if he can run down Gary Clune in the number 11 Ford to get his way back into the top 10. He's been battling to get there all night, but no can do. He led a few laps there, but that is going to do it for Stutzman. Rotating back up front where, let's see how Chris Leftwich is doing. Up 10 positions. I wanted to find our biggest mover of the race. Chris Leftwich, originally 19th, is in 9th. Not too bad here for Shoney's Racing, getting a driver up that far into the other one. Let's see another Shoney's Racing driver, Christopher Simon. And Simon is up in that 4th position. I know we got a couple Christopher Simon fans out there in the chat. Go ahead and give me a shout out there for the number 35 Chevrolet, who's right now running fourth in front of Kevin Powell. But Kevin Powell and Daniel Wilkerson going at it, 5 and 6. Right now, everybody seems to be pretty spread out here on the track. Interesting enough, there are no stages here in the Doghouse Racing League. These guys run it full old NASCAR style. There are no stages. They don't stop for nothing except a caution.
And once these drivers are in their driver mind, they're in their driver mind. So another driver I want to talk about is Lomax. Look at Lomax in 96. He's in the 11th place right now. He didn't have a great run at COTA. Now that's behind him. He's trying to get back up in here with the top 10. He's in 11th place. He's trying to crack the top 10. It would be nice to see him try to get the top 10 or top 5 tonight. I don't think he has the car to win tonight, but I do believe he can get into the top 10 or top 5 tonight. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, Jackson Lomax here in that Smyrna Reading mix machine. He seems to be doing pretty well here, and really, the more I've seen Jackson Lomax and Christopher Berger out here spend a lot of time out here on the track learning how to, really learning how to drive, and getting better and better and better. And a lot of guys you were talking before, just kind of quit. Once they hit that learning curve, they can't do it anymore. And really seeing how some of these drivers from Turn 1 Racing have decided to stick around and continue learning is only going to increase their resume here of what they can do. They won't be afraid of an open setup league any longer, and they can go in there and drive exactly like this. And this is a extremely tough league. If I were racing here, if I could get a top 10, you're doing something. And right now, him bobbling right outside of the top 10, sitting 11th, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's in 11th place right now. And we're halfway through this race. If he could stay in 11th or get an 11th place finish, I would be happy with that. It's a hard league to race in. Some of these drivers have a lot of experience on iRacing, and it's tough with these setups. You got to get them right. It takes tons of time, but like I said, you'll get there eventually.
Oh, yeah. Looks like we may have had a little trouble back on lap 46. Let's take a quick look. It says Gary Armijo may have had a problem here. Maybe exiting pit. I don't know if something happened here. Yeah, it looks like he probably had a mechanical problem.
And don't forget, maybe that mechanical problem came from that incident earlier on in the race when he got that front end damage.
Yeah, that may be very well, but it looks like Gary Armijo is taking it back to the garage. And that may do it for him. Bobby Goodwin still trying to fix his machine out there. About 9 minutes in the pit box, so his night may be over here for Bobby Goodwin. So Armijo now sits 19th. Bobby Goodwin will be 20th. If Goodwin can get back out there and put 11 more laps down, that'll at least move him up one more position and give him a few more points here tonight to get battling back out there. But speaking of a battle, let's take a look at Mike Samia here. Samia in the 44 Chevrolet, and now making sure Chris Leftwich has to run the high line. And Chris Leftwich doesn't seem to mind that. He's been there pretty much all night, high line for him. But right now, Samia's trying to see if he can find a line to get underneath of him, but no can do. As Samia is going to have to backpedal now. Oh, man.
They got in the wall there.
Yeah, Leftwich has got some damage after that shot.
That's the one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to get too high, because once you get in that dirt up there in the track and debris, your car's going to go in the wall, and you're going to lose a lot of time.
Yep, Chris Leftwich's spotter right now is looking at the side of that car to figure out if any of that sheet metal is going to be coming down and touching that tire. Because that may cause a problem much, much later here in the run, and that would be huge right now for Chris Leftwich. Right now, who has been the biggest mover of the race, dropped back down to 10th place, and may be under fire by Jackson Lomax, depending on the damage that he has now incurred. And this may be really a big turn of events here, whether this battle here between 9th and 10th ends and Samia is able to get away, or if Chris Leftwich is able to overcome any of that damage.
There it goes. It might have been a tire.
Yeah, a little loose there. That didn't look good. So the aerodynamics are playing on him pretty bad here.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing about hitting the wall here, guys. It's really crucial. If you hit the wall just like he did, and he's getting loose like this, are you thinking a tire's going down? I mean, look at how Lomax is gaining on the 13 right now. I mean, if I was the 13, I would come down pit road, because if your tire goes down, you could get a DNF in this race.
Yeah, definitely for certain. Taking a look at Jackson Lomax. Both these guys, Leftwich and Lomax, last pit on lap 39. So no tire advantage here, but the damage to Chris Leftwich could be pretty rough here. We'll keep an eye here and see if Leftwich can hold off Jackson Lomax. As Lomax decides to take the lower line just a little bit longer. But Leftwich able to pull through that turn. Oh, here he goes.
Oh, there it goes.
Man. Yeah, Leftwich having a hard time here being getting smashed to pieces here. B-Mac out there in the chat. Twisted Axle Racing must all be on vacation. Yeah, I know. They shouldn't be vacationing during race season. I don't know what they're thinking.
I think the tire might be going down as we see the 78 hitting on pit road of Ricky Williams. No, my bad. That's the 10 car, actually, of Ricky Williams.
Oh, yeah. You're getting caught up here with the 78 here, Daniel Wilkerson.
There we go.
Yeah, no, Daniel Wilkerson's up here in the top 10, sitting 7th. Ricky Williams looks like he's working his way back down pit. And I think Chris Leftwich might be coming down pit here pretty soon. He's having a lot of trouble here. 35-13 on his last lap, and I don't know if this is going to continue on for him. If he's going to be struggling the rest of the night here to keep that that car out there on the track. Stutzman now going to be the next one looking for him, but he's got about 6 seconds to make up. But seeing how Leftwich is losing almost 2 seconds a lap here, that may be an easy feat for him. Let's rotate back up front with Christopher Berger in the 36 machine. Sitting here in 8th. Interesting to see. Turn 1 Racing missing a few drivers out here. Nick Schell, Christopher Schaefer, and Matthew Robinson. We'll see if they return here later in the season. I definitely would love to see them return here for Talladega. That is definitely a fan favorite out there. Everybody super speedway, and anybody can win there.
I can tell you right now, I think it's going to be a pretty big field because it's Talladega and everybody loves racing on these plate tracks.
Oh, yeah. Let's rotate back up front here. Let's see what Christopher Simon's doing. Simon may taking a peek there with Kevin Powell. Kevin Powell rolling with Jacob Reeves. These guys kind of on similar setups here. Taking a look. Let's see if we can roll along top here of Jacob Reeves. Good move here. Good rotation on through. And Reeves been doing a fantastic job here. Unfortunately, he originally started second. He's dropped down to the 6th position here, but he's following along. Ooh, man.
Ooh, 3 wide almost.
Yeah, we're going to do right there with some lap traffic.
Look at this run. He's going to get off the turn 4 here. He's going to side draft the 93 of Howell coming down the front straightaway. That's the good thing about the top lane here. You get a good run.
Yeah, great job here by Reeves. Taking a look at the inside. See Powell. Got it. Man, great job there. So now Jacob Reeves gets into the top 5 by putting the Monster Energy Chevrolet of Kevin Powell behind him here, but it looks like Powell's taking another look up the inside.
Here he comes.
Yeah, not enough here.
Look out the 93. Look out the 93.
Look at these camera angles, Daniel. These are amazing.
I know. I love these camera angles. They look amazing.
Yeah, we're taking a good look here at Jacob Reeves. Right now looking down on Kevin Powell here.
Now look how he gets down that back straightaway. Let's see what he does here. Is he going to go low once again?
Now he decides to stay high and the Powell on the bottom.
No, I don't know, but he's gaining once again on that 3 car.
Yeah, let's hop here from the Goodyear blimp view. Top side, whether these guys are going to catch up. Look out, man, look at Powell get a run in.
And he wants to get in the throttle really quick as he comes out of the turn if he wants to get a chance around the 3 car here of Reeves.
Yeah,
see him closing in once again.
That was a fantastic turn there. Let's take a little bit of a chase copter cam here. Looking at Reeves. Reeves on the outside. Now Kevin Powell taking a peek. Here he comes.
They're going to be side by side coming out of turn 4. 93 is probably going to go right behind him. Stay in the draft and watch. He's going to probably enter the middle lane. Going to try to get on that quarter panel. Try to loosen him up. Slide him up the track a little bit. Nah, it's just the 3's got the momentum right now on the top lane. You see 93 fall back.
Yeah, Jacob Reeves really has a lot of discipline here for not, really entertaining Kevin Powell's moves here. He's not going down there to block him. He's letting him go ahead, do his thing. But Reeves maybe made a mistake there. The high line has been working here so far. And Reeves just staying on that top line, allowing Kevin Powell to move around here a little bit. But, man, it's got to get old when you don't have all the track you want to move around. But Reeves, with the runs he's been getting, is now starting to reel in Christopher Simon. Simon might be under fire here pretty soon. So we might have 3 guys going at it here for a couple of laps. Dylan Goodwin is on his way down pit in the number 51 Chevrolet. There he is. Oh, man, it looks like he's incurred a good bit of damage there on the front end of his machine.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not showing anything happening, but it looks like that Wrangler Chevrolet has got a good bit of damage, so we'll see how well or how much pit road time he's going to have. Right now he's sitting down there for over 45 seconds, so the woes continue for the Goodwins.
There we go. 35 Simon is going to be under fire, like you said, pretty soon. Look at that 3 car. He's just powering on that top lane.
Yeah, Jacob Reeves looking to kind of get this drought over with here. He wants to get himself at least a podium position here. Kevin Powell following alongside him here. And now one of our guys from the top 10 is working his way down pit, and that is Daniel Wilkerson in the Costa 78 Chevrolet now. Let's see, we'll probably guess at 4 tires and fuel for him as they head back out with only a few laps left to go here. It's going to be getting crunch time. Can McMahon catch him? 6.5 seconds before they get there, but rotating on back how Kevin Powell's doing with Reeves. This is the closest guys out here on the track, and I'm interested to see if Reeves is going to be able to get a run here on Christopher Simon.
Well, we're about to find out if Reeves is going to get a run on Christopher Simon here. And don't forget, some of these drivers might come down pit road, get new tires, so we're getting to that point once again as we are on board here on 35 of Simon, looking back after 3 of Reeves.
Yeah, Christopher Simon with a good turn there, able to get a little bit of distance there, but really, what does it matter at this point? Everybody's going to have to pit at least one more time to make it to the end. And I'm interested to see, is this
Powell?
Is this the time? But I think actually Kevin Powell is trying to switch it up here a little bit.
Okay. Now that you see these drivers come down pit road, are the other drivers going to be like, oh, hey, should I come down pit road now? Because now the cycle's going to be starting. What do you think Jennings is doing right now in his head now that he sees these drivers heading down pits?
I think Jennings is going to just keep doing what Jennings does best. He's going to wait it out here a little bit. He's going to stay out about 2 laps later than everybody else. Last time he pit was on 40. If he comes down about that lap 81, I see him winning this race here.
Never know here.
All right, taking a look at Jacob Reeves, still working on Christopher Simon. Might have him side by side. Got the run on him this time. Here he comes on the outside. Let's get a little bit of a higher view. Reeves holding it. Yeah, here he comes. So far, so good here. Fancy that. Only 1 caution here so far during this race. That's about 28 laps left to go in this race.
And Reeves is in 4th place. He's gaining, but look at that 35. He's like, no, you're not getting away from me. As he's on that top lane trying to catch back to the 3 car of Reeves. You see that nice corner exit there and down the back straightaway around 180, 190 miles per hour.
Yep.
He's going to go on the top lane here. See what happens.
Yeah, it looks like Reeves is going to be able to break away here. Simon may be able to get some runs, but it looks like Reeves is going to be able to hold him off. But really, look at Tyler Mollett here. Talk about Mollett there a little bit. I was saying he may be the upset. Right now sitting 3rd, and he's got McMahon in his crosshairs here. Can he get it? Obviously, some pit strategy is going to come into play for some of these drivers. And right now, it's looking pretty crucial here for Tyler Mollett. Six laps left to go here at Homestead. Jonathan Jennings still leading this one. Right now, he's going to be able to get most laps led, so 10 bonus points in total for Jonathan Jennings. And that's just bonus points, so that's only going to extend his lead in the championship points.
That's what you want to do. You want to get as many points as possible in the standings so you have a shot at the championship.
See how this goes, but we're going to cut to commercial here in just a moment, and we'll be right back. The Doghouse Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of our West Virginia locations and try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you for hanging out for a shout-out from our sponsors. Tyler Millette still going at it here in that 94 Chevrolet, trying to run down Justin McMahon, but I would say everybody's going to hang out here just a little bit. That way everybody can kind of smooth it out until pit time. Right now, a couple of drivers coming down pit. Turn 1 Racing, Christopher Berger and Jackson Lomax on the 36 and the 96 Chevrolet working their way down pit. 4 tires and fuel for them. So far, out of all the pit stops, I do not see anybody short pitting. 4 tires of fuel for everybody down there. And here they come, the leaders. Right now, McMahon and Tyler Millette. Right now, McMahon almost didn't make it down into pit as he slid there just a little bit, which moves Jonathan Jennings still in the front by almost 13.5 seconds over second place of Jacob Reeves. Right now, this is a huge, huge break here for Jonathan Jennings as he is just absolutely punishing this track continuously. And I would love to give him more spotlight here tonight, but really is as far out front as he is, it doesn't seem like he's really battling anybody out there on the track. Let's see if Jacob Reeves and Jeremiah Stutzman decide to stay out. I think Reeves is going to be trying to look for a lead lap here if he can get past Jennings first. Oh, nope. He just crossed him. So he's got to go around one more time if he wants to get 5 more points. Now remember, Stutzman last pit on 43. So Stutzman's got a long way to go, might have enough fuel, but really to me, if I were Stutzman, I would weigh the option, what's the point? Let's go ahead and pit now and get back out there. Unless he's trying to use his fresher tires to fire at these guys later on in this race.
Yeah, he might be laying back here right now with 22 to go here at Homestead. Or he's just going to go for it and try to get the race win here. But I don't know what the plan is for 71. But I can't wait to see what he does here as Reeves is your leader. Oh, and he came down pit road now.
Yep, working down pit as we see him working around Dylan Goodwin there. Dylan still in his pit box almost 8 minutes now. All right, down pit road he goes. That means Jeremiah Stutzman is going to get the lead. Stutzman will hang out in front for just a little bit. But remember what I was talking about, how Jonathan Jennings is doing. Jennings only off by 7.5 seconds and picking up time here heading into the later stages of this race. I do not expect to see any more pitting except for the guys who have yet to pit, the only one being Jeremiah Stutzman, who is yet to pit. Right now, it would be kind of a moot point if a caution came out. Stutzman would have to pit, and then he would be slung all the way back to that 11th, 12th position area as Nathan Orlowski would be able to get the lucky dog. But this being the Doghouse Racing League, I don't see a whole lot of cautions. I mean, only if mistakes are made, but, we saw one little slip up there by a rookie, and that's what ended up happening here. So Jennings going to be reeling in Stutzman. Stutzman deciding still not to pit yet. Interesting to see that 71 continuing to hang out here.
And look at on the top left of your screen. Look at the ticker right now. The 2 of Jennings, how he was closing in so fast on Stutzman. Again, that is because Stutzman is on older tires. As you see the 71, he couldn't hold off anymore. As you see the 91 going past the 71 that's on pit road. Second place is going to be McMahon, and third place will be the 93 of Powell. These are the top 3 drivers that have been strong all night long with just 19 to go here.
Yeah, you want to talk about a wild turn of events. Jacob Reeves, who was up there battling for third, 7th place. I don't see any problem where he had a issue down pit road, 44 seconds down the lane and 15 in the box. So right now, Jacob Reeves, something fumbled right here with the number 3 Chevrolet as he's going to have to fight his way back to the front. Originally, we thought he was going to be out there in front of Kevin Powell, but no can do. Right now, we were talking earlier about Tyler Mollett. Tyler Mollett in the 94 machine, trying to see if he can run down Kevin Powell. So once again, Powell looking for another podium position here like he did last week. Jennings still in the front. So right now, the only change is the guy in second. McMahon was second. Is second now, and Hunter Simpson was. But check out Tyler Mollett. He's starting to now pour on the pressure. As 18 laps left to go, Tyler Mollett taking a look. Will he be able to get across and put Kevin Powell outside of a podium finish here tonight? So far, Tyler Mollett, looks like these guys are rotating on through. Mike Leftwich is who these guys are running into. Leftwich still on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken, sitting there in the 13th position. Nope, Leftwich is a lap down. Right now, only the top 10 drivers are on the lead lap. Jackson Lomax being the last one.
Yeah. And look who's in the top 10. Look who finally cracked the top 10. It's the 96 of Lomax.
Oh, yeah. Right now, Lomax about 25 seconds off pace. He's got a good little bit before Jennings catches him.
I mean, I just don't see anything happening with just 15 to go. Jennings is running good all night. He won last week at COTA, and he's proven once again here at Doghouse Racing League in the Cup Series and in these next-gen cars that he can win these races, as he looks like he could win this race once again in the series at Homestead.
Definitely taking a look right now. Kevin Powell getting ready to watch it happen here. Oh, man, Kevin Powell watching Tyler Mollett fight on the inside. Mollett rotates up. Here's the squeeze. Whoa. Beautiful racing here, side by side. Kevin Powell and Tyler Mollett. That's exactly what you want to see. Battle for third here between these two guys, only separated by a couple thousandths, as you see Kevin Powell just barely has a fender on him. But Tyler Mollett going to have to ride up the track a little bit because it gets really slippery near that paint. 94 machine and there alongside the 93. Can Tyler Mollett break the plane here? But he's got to figure out how to ride Kevin Powell higher into that turn, and he does. Gets 3/4 of a car length in front of him now, and the 93 is going to be looking now at the rear bumper of Tyler Mollett.
Whoa,
Mollett gets loose.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side still, heading down the front straightaway. As you saw 94 there get loose. But let's talk about when they were in turn 2, and they're still side by side in turn 1. But last lap in turn 2, he slid up and he had to let off, or else he would have ended up spinning the 93 Powell, and that could have been a disaster there. Seeing the 94 still fighting with the 93, just getting loose from the air from the 93 there.
It's interesting to see the battle between these two as Tyler Mollett stays on the bottom. Right now, Kevin Powell, right now, he's got a heart of a lion here as we watch him see Tyler Mollett work around him. As Kevin Powell, you know, if you think about it, Tyler Mollett rode him up into the turn there a little bit to keep it straight, but it cost Tyler Mollett his line, and he ended up getting loose on the way out. But Mollett able to collect it back together, and he's now in the third. Kevin Powell will now be chasing. McMahon off by almost 7.5 seconds off Jennings, and Jennings is running away with this one. We'll take a little bit of a time, and let's ride along with Jonathan Jennings on the fastest lap here on the track. All right, we are back riding along with Jonathan Jennings there. You do see kind of how he's rotating around now. Slight little touch off the rev limiter there as the numbers go red, but he remains in fourth gear. He doesn't have to worry about any kind of fuel mileage. He's going to make it all the way to the end. So Jonathan Jennings looking like he's going to be winning here at Homestead-Miami. But let's rotate back here to Mollett, now putting the distance here on Kevin Powell. Got plenty of separation now. Check out Reeves. Reeves has gotten away from Daniel Wilkerson here and trying to run down Christopher Berger. Christopher Berger last pit on lap 76. And Reeves back on 79, so slight advantage here on some tire health. As we're watching Reeves try to make up a 2-second deficit here to Christopher Berger. Let's rotate back a little bit and see how Leftwich is doing. Chris Leftwich, that is. Leftwich we saw was dealing with a little bit of damage earlier in the run. Leftwich last pit on lap 70, 15-second pit stall time for him, so it may have been a slight scuff. They're going to pull that fender off the tire, and he's going to continue on here. See Stutzman down on the bottom, I believe. Something was up with Stutzman. Yeah, Stutzman's got something going on here.
And I was actually shocked with the 13 of Leftwich. Now, when he hit that wall, I thought that affected his aerodynamics there, which caused him to get loose there. Or it could have been a tire, but I'm actually shocked that he's in the top 10 here right now.
Not too shabby as we're taking a look at Jeremiah Stutzman rotating and watching back in here again. You know, Stutzman actually kind of on a rotate back. Stutzman did pit back on lap 81. So I think he's kind of waiting for everybody else's tires to fall off, but maybe a slight adjustment has cost him the race. Don't think he's going to be able to fight back. I think Leftwich might be under fire here by Samia. Mike Samia right close to him. Only off by about half a second. Everybody else pretty spread apart here. And out there in the chat, BMAC is saying, watch out for the number 12. He will be back. I sure hope so. I definitely like seeing Andrew St. Cour out here in that Advanced Auto Parts machine fly around out here. Which, speaking of which, look at that move. Yeah, that's Chris Leftwich going ahead and getting around some lap traffic there of Andrew Smith. And Farron is out there saying Jennings is so smooth. That he is. He's able to rotate through these turns, and just he makes it look effortless. Just being able to get around the track, having no problems. Lomax is running about 28.5 seconds, and he is the last driver on the lead lap. So right now, fantastic job here by the Turn 1 racing team with Christopher Berger sitting in a 5th place finish here. This could be huge for him here tonight.
For sure, that would be huge for the 36 right there, coming out of turn 4 to get a top 5 finish here on Homestead. We haven't really talked about him lately in this series, but hats off to him being top 5 here tonight. That's where I think he's going to finish. Well, let's talk about the 44 and the 96. We haven't seen them also in the top 10, top 5 as much lately, and I want to give them a hats off to them with getting a strong run here tonight.
Yeah, Mike Samia, part of the Shoney's racing team out there. He's trying to run down his teammate of Chris Leftwich, sitting in the 8th place. Chris Leftwich has gained 11 positions here on the night, but only 4 laps left to go. It looks like everybody might be pretty solid here. I don't think there's going to be any battles out on the track. Where everybody is going to be pretty locked in here. As Jonathan Jennings drives away with this one with an 8.5 second lead. We're going to talk to him, and I know exactly what the answer is going to be. Is I was pedaling the car, and I only took it as hard as I needed to. So Jennings is not really pressing here, as you see the fall off just slightly, but he's not really 8.5 seconds. He could probably let off the gas on the exit of turn 4 and still win the race.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about our rookie here. Last time I checked, he was in 15th place here, and Nathan's been doing pretty good here. He's been learning. And he's not bad for first place, not first place, but 15th place finish here at Homestead tonight.
Yeah, check that out. Bobby Goodwin back out here in the fight. So he was able to go out there and pick up a couple more positions. 17th for him now. So back into the saddle again, trying to run this one down. Goodwin, like I said, he's a good bit out here on laps down about 22 laps, but still able to go ahead and get past Ricky Williams. Gary Armijo and Dylan Goodwin now up to 17th. Now let's rotate back up to the front where we only got 2 laps left to go as white flag is now out. Jonathan Jennings has crossed the line, and right now that 91 machine has got it going on. Check it out. All Chevrolets, baby. Top 10. Wow.
That is the first I ever seen the top 10 full of Chevrolets, but here we are once again. New week. New track, 91 of Jennings. It's going to come home with another P1 finish here.
Yep, and the checkered flag is out, and Jonathan Jennings is going to win here at Homestead-Miami. Fantastic job. Justin McMahon looking as he's coming up about 8.5 seconds behind. trying to come out there for the second position. And Tyler Mollett, there he is, third place finish. Not too bad out of Tyler Mollett here. Originally starting there outside the top 5 and getting a podium here. Not too bad. Not too bad. Christopher Berger for an 8th place, 8 positions gained for 5th. And Daniel Wilkerson making it up 3 positions for 7th. But our hard charger of the race will be Chris Leftwich, who is an 8th place finisher here tonight. And ended up 11 positions up. Not too bad here out of our top 3. Right now, Tyler Mollett has got to be ecstatic about his race. That was an awesome run there. So another clean sweep here. With a couple of drivers from the Loud Pedal Racing team and Jonathan Jennings from yeah, good Lord, look at this. Look out.
Wow.
Yeah, some of these guys are still trying to finish. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Imagine doing a burnout and you just get wheeled by another car.
Yeah. And what I was trying to say is Jonathan Jennings with the Elite Southern Motorsports team getting another win here.
Yeah, I bet his team owner's thrilled. Back-to-back wins. Can't wait to see what happens at Talladega. You never know who's going to win there next weekend, but I can't wait to hear this interview from Jonathan Jennings.
Oh yeah, we'll catch up with him here in just a second. Alright, now they're just carrying on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hold on just a second, and we'll try to reel in all our drivers. All right, everybody, and we have caught up with him. Tyler Mollett in the 3rd position. Man, talk to me about this race. You started outside the top 5, but you were able to get over top of Kevin Powell. Talk to me about that side. Talk to me about the race and that side-by-side racing we saw.
That's probably one of the best fights I've ever had with Kevin. And let me tell you, there was a couple of times I thought we were going to be door-to-door touching. Not once somehow did we get a contact. Some of the best racing I've ever had with these guys tonight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic run there, man. I was so impressed. We got so many great camera angles. When you go back to the broadcast, I think you're going to be blown away from our angle at how awesome that race was. It almost looked like you were trying to ride him up the turn a little bit, but it cost you a little bit. You had to backpedal and then re-attack. Is that kind of what was happening out there?
Yeah, that outside lane, trying to run the inside the way the car I had set up, like it needed that extra leverage to swing out, and with him there, I just couldn't do it. So it was a constant fight, and I was trying to keep from not pushing him in the wall and stuff. So it was a fun time.
Well, the battle between you two was so tight out there. I mean, you guys were thousandths of a second, inches of each other's fender. I mean, that was. I mean, man, did you hold your breath at all as you broke loose?
Absolutely. I look like I've sat in a sauna for about an hour now.
Well, this is really awesome. Right now, unfortunately, you are sitting down 20th in points, but you have been increasing each and every week, working your way up the chart here. What is the major change that's now turned your racing around here, and now we're starting to see, solid top 10s, top 5s every time you're out here?
Yeah, listen, with Jonathan, Justin, Kevin, Daniel, all them working with me, teaching me, I couldn't do this without them. Like, they've made such a big difference in my racing that I'm starting to feel a lot more confident. Like I said, you're seeing me climb the rankings as we go, and having a blast with it too. So I couldn't do it without them guys teaching me the way they have.
All right. Well, we head into the next season here pretty soon, in the next probably month or so. But first we've got Talladega. You know that anybody can win at that track. How confident you heading there?
50-50. I know I've got the speed, but it's all about the luck too.
All right. Well, definitely got to find some buddies out there. That way you stay safe. Don't get in the big one and can get up front. I'm excited to see what you guys can do there. Tyler Millette, congratulations on your third place finish. Give me your shout outs.
I'd like to thank Loud Pedal Racing, Daniel, for putting this league on, the guys at Elite Southern as well for teaching me the way they have. We've all run great, especially you guys with the broadcast. The broadcasts have been awesome. Tickled to death going back and watching them when I can. So I'll definitely be rewatching this one tonight.
Oh, yeah, man. I definitely enjoy hearing that, and we tried to make it as interesting as possible, especially, like I said, with racing like that. I think we were locked on you guys for about 8 to 10 laps. Awesome job, Tyler. We'll catch you next week.
Catch y'all later.
All right, everybody, that is going to do it for our third place finisher. Let's move to Justin McMahon here. Justin, talk to me. What a wild run this was here tonight.
For who? For me or for Jonathan? I mean,
well, you fired out of the gate early in the race. What happened?
I don't know. Jonathan's just on a different level, I guess. For a lot of this, apparently, I burned my stuff up there. I think early. Car got a little loose, and then of course it's typical Homestead. You'll be tight in and loose off. So trying to balance that out, I guess, a little bit, and the car just went away from me a little bit, and Jonathan was just to be able to stay a little bit more. He had a little bit more finesse, I think, than I did, and I probably burned my stuff up trying to catch him. But I don't know. That was exciting there for the first 20 laps or so. I was sticking with him pretty well, I thought.
yeah, it was pretty good there, man. I think the untimely caution is kind of what hosed you here tonight. Definitely,
yeah.
You know, some you had the run. I was like, all right, man, he'll get out to about a second and a half lead, and then you can spend the rest of the time trying to, you know, beat back Jonathan Jennings for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
And man, he had the car tonight.
He did. It seems like the case every week with him, but we all race each other pretty clean there. I know that him and Jake were kind of weren't expecting me to take him 3 wide there on the opening lap of the race, but I got to do what I got to do. I need to get points too, and I can't lead up the most laps to get that extra 5 bonus points, so I got to take them when I can get them. But I had a lot of fun tonight. This track is definitely it's tough, and if you don't have your car balanced right, then you're gonna have issues all night. But we had a lot of fun tonight. It was a good time.
Looking back at this race, what could you have done different here to really, send Jennings behind you here?
I don't know.
Tough one.
It is a tough one because he's like the intimidator, to be honest with you. You get him in the rearview mirror, he's going to do something that you're not going to do, and he's going to take advantage of it. And if he gets around you, it's kind of no go. But I don't know. I mean, I did reel him back in there early on, and I thought I was going to have something for him, and I got loose in the middle of 1 and 2 there, and the car just went to hell from there. So I don't know what I could have done differently. Honestly, it's just other than wrecking him. I'm not into that. Him and I were pretty good friends on here, so we all race each other pretty clean. But other than that, I mean, he's a hard one to beat. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so if he makes any sort of mistakes, that's where we have to be in line to take advantage of that. But far and few between with him. So
that's all right, man. Next week is a new week, but we head to Talladega, and some people would say that's a sigh of relief. Others say, oh no, this can't be good. What do you say?
Roll the dice. Pick one, because you'll try to hang out in the back thinking you're gonna save your stuff, and you'll get involved in a wreck that happens mid-pack, or you'll say I'm going to race up front and stay up front the whole race, and you'll get involved in a wreck up front. So it really is just a crapshoot, really. I feel like I have a better chance at beating him if I'm able to keep the car clean for the whole race, just because it's a super speedway. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Give me shout-outs.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats to Jonathan on the win. You guys for putting on a hell of a broadcast. I love watching the races back because you guys do a hell of a job. And Group 6 for the sponsor on the car, and Daniel for putting on this wonderful league that we have.
Cool. Yeah, man. I got to ask you about Group 6 because I see you guys are sponsoring the Talladega Super Speedway. I see that.
Yeah, it's my buddy's online marketing company that he's got. He does web design and a bunch of other stuff on there. So everybody should go check him out at group6interactive.com and reach out to my boy Nate that runs the business. He does a hell of a job. If anybody needs any websites built, they're top-notch websites, and he does a hell of a job. So you should go check him out.
Ooh, Justin McMahon, you are the man. We will see you next week, man. Congratulations on the finish.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that is going to do it here for Justin McMahon here in the booth with us here tonight, and we're trying to see if we can shuffle his butt on out of here. He's stuck.
I'll get out. Hang on.
That's all right, man. Appreciate it. Good Lord. What in the world is going on tonight? Oh, it just gets crazier and crazier. We're grabbing a hold of our leader here, Jonathan Jennings. Crazy job here tonight. Let's see if we can grab a hold of him. I think somebody's done locked me out here. I don't know what the heck is going on. Let's see. I'm going to rotate on down. Let's see if we can grab a hold of Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan Jennings.
Yes, sir.
Dude. All right, man. Talk to me about this race here. This is kind of all you once again. This is week to week, back to back. You know, what was the key to success here tonight?
Stepping outside the box and trying something a little different than what we tried last year. So,
well, Elite Southern Motorsports is your teammates, you know, and you work very closely with Loud Pedal Racing, yet you are a step above everybody else. What in the world are you doing out there? Because some people would say this might be a grip hack thing. What is going on, Jennings? I mean, this is pretty wild, man. You're winning races by 8.5 seconds.
well, I worked hard on this one. The last couple of times I've ran league races here, I've taken a butt whooping, so I had to do something.
Well, your drought is over, obviously. You know, you win the first two, and now you've won the last two here. This is really kind of a second win you're getting. You know, what was the key adjustment here tonight to make that car just so fast?
I didn't change nothing all race, just no mistakes. I've made a lot this year, so.
Okay, so not even tire pressure. You didn't even do tire pressure. What is going on, man? I mean, I think even people, the viewers out here, want to know, you know, kind of what kind of setup are you running? I mean, is just how much time do you put into this? Because when you go out there and you've got, you know, elite guys out here, you've got Justin McMahon, you've got Tyler Millette, we've got Kevin Powell, we've got Daniel Wilkerson, you know, you've got you big guys, you got Chris Leftwich. I mean, these guys are just, they out here every night racing hard, and you leave them by 8.5 seconds off second place. I mean, what does Jonathan Jennings do to be this fast?
I work hard on my techniques, and I try to help the guys that I work with all week, but not everything's easy to teach. So
All right.
some of them's picking up on it.
All right, well, some of them may borrow your driving gloves, your shoes, or your underwear at this point to try to figure out what the heck they can do to catch up, man, because this is a wild race, but I don't think you're going to have that kind of advantage at Talladega next week. Talk to me about your outlook on that race.
Same as Daytona. I'm better off playing Powerball.
A lot of guys are going to be gunning for you, and especially with it being a super speedway, it is going to it's going to crunch down, man. I think you guys are going to pick up probably another 8 drivers you didn't know you had, and it's you know, what adjustment can you make at Talladega to change the fixed setup that iRacing already does? I mean, I'm assuming you're going to do a 5th gear run there, right?
Now, if I can find a 4th, I'm going to do that. But
really,
I don't know. I like having options. I don't like being stuck in certain. You know, if I can run a 4th gear, I'll do it, and then use 5th to save fuel.
No kidding. I figure it would be 5th all the way, man. Try to figure out how to save fuel as much as you can and yet remain fast to avoid the draft. I think it would be pretty interesting to see. But Jonathan Jennings, once again, congratulations. I believe this is your 4th win of the season. Give me your shout-outs here.
you guys for the broadcast. Enjoy watching them. Daniel and all the admins for the races every week, and everybody that helped all week with the setup. It was lightning fast.
All right, man. Well, let's see what you can do with the Super Speedway as we catch back up with you for the Group 6 Interactive 151. Congratulations on your win tonight. I'll catch with you next week.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, everybody, and that's going to do it here with Jonathan Jennings. Daniel, what a wild run this was, man. You've seen it once, now you've seen it twice. Jonathan Jennings is the man to beat. I don't know what it's going to take to put him in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, for sure. Jonathan Jennings is a very strong driver, as we saw back-to-back from last weekend. We saw him run Coda. He's been really, really strong on the road courses, and we just saw it tonight here on Homestead-Miami, where he just got his 4th win of the season. And he is very strong, but I don't know if he's going to win next race at Talladega. It's an unpredictable race. You're going to want to use your manufacturer partners and your drafting teammates if you want to win and you want to stay out of the big one. And I can't wait to cover next week's race at Talladega.
Yeah, it should be definitely a wild one, man. Definitely at Talladega is nothing to shame out there. These guys definitely do an awesome run here. Andrewski out there saying Trading Paints doesn't like his car for him. He doesn't know why. Try that Control R, buddy, and it might try to square a few things away out there. Jonathan Jennings wins this race here as we're taking a look at our race results right before we sign off here. Find your favorite driver. Like I said, Gary Armijo and Joey Beck did not take behind the wheel. So 20 drivers out here, and this is where they placed. Unfortunately, only the top 10 were able to stay on the lead lap here. Jackson Lomax was dangerously close about going down a lap, but he remains on the front. And fantastic race by everybody. But that is going to do it for us here at Simtrax Broadcast, and we're going to lock and load here for the next run that we've got going, the Grayson Shootout Series, for this season finale on Saturday at Daytona. So Super Speedway week coming up for me here for just a little while. But from all of us here at Simtrax Broadcast and Patrick Morrison here in the booth with Daniel Paulus, we will catch all you guys later. And be well, be safe, be kind. See y'all later.